Hello YouTube, this is ToFuSmurF here with lostdeadman, who
Yeah, hi.
who I'll be further referring to as Chris the rest of the time because I ain't got time for that kind of fucking name.
Nobody does, don't worry about
So I bought Chris here not for his tank knowledge, but for the banter and he's a good dude to watch things with
it.
because he's like that little boy who's still amazed by everything that I do. So makes for good commentary.
You see, I saw a good Thunder Turtle replay today. I don't think it'll compare. Sorry. We'll get there though.
Yeah, well, I'm new to the that T95. I think I have 25 games in it. I'm sure Theo and them have done plenty of T95 replays on this channel before.
Did have some silly times in the Thunder Turtle, yes.
Yep. Anyway.
Just cruising along.
Yeah, cruising is not the word I would use for this. But, you know, free shots while I drive, I guess.
Yep. So just getting that damage out when you can, you know.
Yeah. Now, if you guys will notice, statistically speaking, they have a better team at the top end. My bottom end isn't as bad as their bottom end, but that really means little when their top end has, 4 more tier 10s than our team?
Yeah, and then, you know, you have the pretty decent 50B platoon and just your team. And you're already down to tier 10. I mean, that's great.
Yeah. Yeah, this is, not very... It wasn't very fun to look at on the onset, you know, so... just gotta make do with what it is. Usually in the T95, if they have no artillery, and depending on what their TD situation is like, I will push the J line, the beach, just because if there's really no TD overlooking, and there usually is one at like J3, but if, again, it depends on their composition. If they don't have that guy there, then and no artillery, then I'm gonna push that beach and just soak up all the damage because it's such a funneled location. There's not much they can do to surround me. Plus, in water, it kind of makes it a little more difficult for them to do so. And but that's not the case in this one. In this one, in a TD, I'll normally play this middle spot right here. This specifically is there's 2 depressions here. There's this one, and then there's one right beyond this little ridge line to my front, a little bit to the right of what I'm looking at, where the 69 is. I usually play here because I could get shots on the hill, which that didn't work on the 215B because all I did was track him. And I can also look over to the right in what they call the quote-unquote grinder, where those 50Bs are. I can overlook that if they decide to push that aggressively. So, luckily for us, their team, if you've noticed, a couple of their tier 10s are down because they're just bad. The 50M overextended on the beach side by himself, and the Foch got RD'd and focused out. So it's more just worrying about the north now.
They're
Which
just throwing away tier 10s. They're just not playing smart here. This is really hurting them.
Yeah. Luckily, even if there wasn't a tier 10 disparity, normally a good platoon can, in an even game or even in a disadvantaged game, can carry the game. So that 50B platoon is probably the only thing I'm really worried about. And they're really just sweeping up that DE line. So I'm gonna push with this E75, hopefully with the help of this E75. Right here, I'm trying to bait the IS-7 and taking a shot, while trying to figure out where the 183 is looking, which I believe I ascertained that he's driving away. So here, there you go, baiting the shot from the IS-7, and then taking this shot at a very unsuspecting 183. Now, in the after battle report, I can confirm that shot did hit, and I think it did a flat 700 damage. So, and there's the 183 reappearing again with a lot less health than it used to have. So, T95 shooting my IS-7 shooting my tracks again. So, again, free shot on 50B.
This IS-7 is just letting you abuse him. This is not good.
Yeah. I feel like their 50Bs outthought themselves a little bit here, because I think because them sending all 3 of them back lost them the DE line. Because they bailed on D75 against 3 guys. Really, if you know you have an overmatch on a flank, you should overmatch that flank before you regroup. Again,
if you fall back with like all of your really good players, then you're pretty much leaving that flank to a bunch of, let's say, not amazing players that usually will kill, and then you're kind of fucked.
Well, you just need to secure something. I mean, with that not secured, and say in this case you lost the middle, and all you really won was the south, then you kind of let more tanks live than you should have. Imagine if they had a 3 tank lead right here. You know, I mean, I don't think this game would be even close. I also feel like their 50Bs are playing a little dumb here. One of the 50Bs trying to cross in such a, you know, we're not even capping, and he took the short route, even though his 183 just got lit up by my T95 shot. Trying to cross the same window immediately afterwards isn't really the brightest idea. And then the 50B, just now on the ridgeline, trying to take shots at the E75, staying a little too overexposed. If he could have reversed a little bit, he probably would have had the same shots on the E75 while keeping himself safe from me. On that 183 hit, I think my tracks absorbed a good chunk of it.
Yeah,
I mean,
really lucky.
594, I'll chalk that up to tracks and hash mechanics and super heavy spall liner. So,
hey,
and then
the round didn't penetrate, still did 600 damage, totally not over.
Yeah, and that's with the spall liner and him shooting my tracks and all that garbage.
That's not overpowered, right? I'm just gonna say, right, David? It's not overpowered, right?
They do it different in Britain. Is it called Britain anymore? How do I keep calling it? It's like UK, Great Britain, England.
Well, just a bunch of England.
Like, fuck. Pick a name. Anyway, my only concern here is getting flanked by that 50B. You know, it's whatever, really. I wanted to try to see if I can get a shot over this 50B. Probably was reloading. And I'm thinking he knew I was coming up this way, so the best place to engage me isn't frontally. He probably would have gone down the 1 line to either, you know, F1, F2 to that side of the thing, or gone down 1 line to, you know, J1, J2 to get around me. But I don't think he would have engaged me on this ramp. So it was a pretty safe bet. I wasn't too worried. A little exposed, but, you know, at this point, you know, I weighed the odds and just kind of played it. And
your team took the tier point advantage, and then it pretty much just went from there.
And last 50B, trying to, I'm guessing he's trying to flank me. I am not lit until I fire. I don't know what he was trying to accomplish with that. I think he would have hugged the mountain a little bit closer.
That wasn't great. That
Yeah,
kind of fucked him over a little bit.
a little bit. In the irony of all this is that that Patton and the IS-7 that they left over there is still alive. You know, and that's tanks that they could have finished off before coming back to their base. And we kind of just took that tier disadvantage and just, you know, said fuck it and win.
When the good platoon on the other team throws the game, I mean, kind of, it's really a game that you really should not have won. You just kind of bring it back.
Yep. That one hit the tracks. That was unfortunate. Really would help my damage farm if I pen that. At this point, this JT can't do much. We still have an artillery piece alive.
Yeah, it's pretty much over.
We can put cap pressure. There's not much he can do.
I've only taken 1 penetrating shot all game. I mean, it's...
And voila. Now, the final count that the damage counter says here is 5.5. With the 700, it's 6.2 K damage. The blind shot being the one on the 183. So this is a 6.2 K damage game in the T95. Again, something that I haven't played too much of. I mean, 25 games isn't too much, but I actually enjoy it. Yeah, it's slow, but I bounce a shit ton of shots in this thing. Kind of like in this battle. And it has a big gun, and it's great.
Somehow you got 2,000 spotting damage in that.
Oh yeah,
Not sure how, but you know what? Yeah, whatever.
yeah. Well, you know, baller. So
Under Turtle Best Scout. I mean, that just makes sense.
yeah. And speaking of scouts, we move on to the next one. So here we are in Swamp, in I believe a tank that we haven't really covered yet. Maybe.
I have never.
I don't think anyone's covered it on this channel.
Pretty sure you're the only one that plays Chinese tanks, so.
No, well, me and Jeremy, but yeah, of the uploaders, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So this is the WZ-111 model 14 something, right? Yeah.
Sure, let's go with that.
Model
This Chinese-
14. It's the Chinese tier 9 heavy tank. The one right after the 110. This is... Oh, it says on the fucking bottom. WZ-111 model 14.
We're
Gotcha.
smart, right?
Yeah, I put it together. This is it in its top configuration, elated. So you can see the speed. I'm going fast. It's got great speed. The gun is the IS-7 gun, 130. I memorized that one, and yeah, taking that hit sucked. But
122.44 Pendu. Wow. Good
yeah,
shot. That's good.
yeah. Well, I had to take it, just cause.
Luck.
This thing is fairly armored. Not super great. We were comparing it to the IS-4 as a tier 9.
God tank.
Which is a really good tank. That was bull. And this is a really good tank, but not as bouncy as the IS-4 was back then. If no one remembers, it was kind of broken.
It was kind of broken.
It was
like,
pretty fucking broken.
better than most tier 10s.
It was, yeah, it was better. Arguably better than, yeah, some tier 10s. Anyway, like all Chinese vehicles, it has no depression. So, you know, getting Swamp was kind of amusing. I generally don't like playing Swamp.
You and the entire server.
So I'm trying to figure out what to do here. I use my speed to get this spot because it kind of helps sets up a crossfire across the town. I can crossfire to where that T-94 is on the D line.
It's
Help
really
out on
good,
that hill.
It's a really good medium spot. I've found out. But
Yes, yeah, it is a good medium spot. And
looks like you play this like a medium, so.
I play over aggressive in this thing. Like on mines, I'll rush water side if I'm coming from north, because it's kind of a flat tank, kind of a low tank for heavy.
See that, yeah.
Bouncy turret and all that. So when you go water side from north on mines, they're only shooting at your turret, and they can't really pen. But it's just me and this Ferdy on this flank, and thankfully for my XP gain, he dies eventually, but not very thankfully while this game was going on. I was kind of pretty mad that my entire team decided to camp A line and C line, leaving this whole flank to basically me and this Ferdy, and the Indian's not really in the best spot, but incoming SU-122 and this. So
No, don't do that. Nobody do that.
I had to move up just to get that shot because of depression, or back up to that hill, but I was at a part where, look at how far I had to go to get this shot here.
Oh wow, right over the back of his.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
That was pretty unfortunate. Thankfully I bounced the IS-8 shot. Now I'm kind of stuck in a hard place. I'm basically permalit because of proxy by this SU.
There's a lot of RDS.
They've got 3 already. There's an IS-8 in front of me. They know there's nothing else here besides me, so there you can push this flank, which clearly T29 is gonna do,
It's gonna try. It doesn't look like he
and
will.
miss like a boss. And the only thing covering me really is artillery, which lots of credit to our team's artillery in this battle. They were just on point here, and wasting my shots. Yeah, it's precious. But here I am basically doing all the spotting down south, which is kind of amusing for a heavy tank.
Not swarming you at all. Like if they had just pushed you, they probably could have killed you. But like,
Probably.
what they're doing here is just gonna get them all killed.
Here I'm just baiting a shot from this IS-8.
Oh, you can even try.
Yeah, it's mainly because he's only shooting at my turret, even though I'm sideways like this. Whereas I get, and yeah, whereas I have shots on his pike and all that. So, thanks to artillery help and all that, that was taken care of. SU comes running at me.
Did way too long to push that.
And doesn't live long enough. So, I've won, quote unquote, won this flank for the time being. So I kind of take my mind off of it and go help out here in the middle. Look at this depression. Like how much forward, like how far forward I had to go to shoot this ISU. It's fantastic.
Thanks, like that's terrible.
That's a lot of exposure, and then throw in the aim time of this gun. Not so fantastic. Here I have a shot on this T94. So
spot's really good for that because you can just shoot anywhere on the map. Like it's a very, very strong spot to go. Is anything fast.
It is pretty strong, and it's kind of a tough shot for the RD depending on where they're at. Only place that they really have easy shots is if they're in like DE1, maybe F1. But because there are these kind of semi-high hills, it makes the shots a little difficult. Chris, you know that shooting at this kind of elevation from HJ K line, it's kind of tough.
Unless you're in like one of the British RDs.
Look at that! Look at that shot, and then look at this awesome reversing. I kind of derp here.
Obviously, the best armor in your tank is the back. That just makes sense. It's logic. Your RD is just saving you right now.
It was all a winning ploy. I think they knew that I was the only one here.
There's
This is why you shouldn't type in game. I stayed in one spot for too long and ate an artillery shell because of it.
Oh, right through the front of the KV-4. Damn.
This gun's amazing. Well, that's his weak spot right there.
Yeah, it is.
It's not the lower plate. It's a little bit above that. There's a flat bar right there with a hatch and everything, and it's just fantastic.
Bouncing thunder turtles like a boss.
This thing has slopey armor. It doesn't have great armor. At least I think, if you know what you're doing against it. But it's slopey. So when you're playing these kind of angles with them, it's just fucking up their shots. And honestly, at this distance, the KV-4 is not going to do much unless I completely broadside him.
Yeah.
And all I'm doing here is just lighting for artillery. It's really all that try to snapshot. Yeah, I tried a snapshot there because the 95 hadn't fired yet, and he was a little distracted.
Ooh, God,
that sucked. Thank God I'm pinning the crap out of his T95's front.
See, this is like the IS-7's gun, but it feels like it looks more accurate. It really does. More accurate.
It probably does. I don't know. I haven't played my IS-7 too much aside from Clan Wars on El Khalouf.
Yeah, fuck that.
Which is actually pretty fun, pretty derpy. But yeah, this is the gist of this battle. Just me doing damage and spawning for this whole flank. I mean, I'm literally for the longest time the only one on this flank. And I haven't pushed out yet because I'm still lit. Give it some time and move out. I mean, that's pretty much game.
And looking at the want replays thing, like you already did not do as much as I thought they did.
Well, they were all the damage that they did was literally on this flank.
Yeah, that's true.
I got 4.5-ish damage out if you round up, and I think Chris, you could check. I took, I think, 4,000 something potential.
Oh yeah, 4,500.
Yeah, okay. So I did as much damage as I potentially received, and I also did, I think, 3.4 spotting damage.
Just a little bit over that, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit over 3.4 spotting damage, and got myself an ace tanker, I believe, and patrol duty, and was one hit away from getting steel wall as well. So, patrol duty in a heavy tank is pretty rare. This was just a matter of getting patrol duty because of the right circumstances. Being the only guy on a flank, enemy team not mass rushing you on an overmatch, and having artillery covering you for once.
Yeah, them pushing into you one by one, really they're just feeding you damage.
Now, from what I hear of the two Chinese lines, the because I'm on the tier 9 for this, and I finished the tier 8 on the medium line. That the medium line overall is more fun to play, but I have found both to be pretty fun to play. So, if you ever decide to go down the heavy line, this is not a bad alternative. Plus, they haven't done Chinese for on track yet, so that's got to come sooner or later.
And apparently the 110 is fantastic. So
it is fantastic. It's a pretty unique tier 8. Normally the tier 8s put out like good alpha with their top guns. Even the T32 with the 105 is pretty good damage, kind of decent reload time. The 110 is the one that fully elited, has a really fast firing rate.
People compare it to the IS-3, but just better.
It's just so good. Like, I had a lot of fun playing it. So I do recommend you go down the heavy line. You just have to get over the glaring weakness in the fact that there's no depression underneath the tanks. So you have to play very careful. You have to know how to side scrape. You have to use your turret armor most of the time. Try to keep the rest of your tank covered. Otherwise, if you can do all that stuff, the speed on this thing is great, and I think it's a great pub stomping tank. Really, I mean, this is just a fantastic, tank that puts out a lot of damage really fast. So,
Like the entire line does that. Yeah, it looks pretty good.
I think it is worth the grind for you guys. So, anyway, moving on. Anyway, I guess another Batchat replay. I think I do too many of these, but when I get frustrated at night with pubs, I play Batchat.
Batchat is a very, very fun carry tank.
Mainly because it's so mobile, you can affect the battle more. I don't know. It calms me down to play this thing. So.
Kind of shits out damage. I mean,
it kind of just shits on people, really. Anyhow, I'm pushing the Abbey. Based on the fact that I'm fast, and their team has no fast mediums to speak of. Their only medium's the Centurion. Nothing's gonna beat me to this Abbey. So it was safe to say I could get here and burst someone down. I didn't think they were gonna send a whole bunch of guys up here, because then I'd be screwed. But with their tank composition and all that, I don't think they were gonna do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't see that with how many TDs they have as their higher tiers. That would be good.
So here I'm just trying to overwatch the 9-8 line, but then this guy shows up, and some of the most frustrating shots that I've taken is on this guy. And Chris, you're about to see how frustrating this was.
Just really?
Yeah, you ready? Ready for another one?
What the fuck was that?
I'm a winner. I think they shot like the back of his turret, like right at the edge of it.
You know how it curves down and shoots the hole? That's
boom.
Okay, so I see why.
Yeah, that makes up for it. Oh, by the way, if you'll notice, this ISU on my team says "nice shot" every time I kill something. It's really weird and kind of stalkerish, but whatever.
Hey, looking at him, it's probably like the most amazing shit he's ever seen.
In retrospect, probably. Well, if you want bad, the enemy Tiger 2 is bad, and it'll show you.
Yeah, a little bit.
This is the Aqua Reload where I just chat. Yeah, so 3 damaging hits for 2,300 damage.
It's a good start, Good start.
Totally makes sense, but I'll take it. I think I'm still typing. Okay, no, I'm not. So I try to figure out what to do here. I try to line up and see what my shots are like. It's not so good. That's kind of the fun of a T32. Yeah, I take one just to see where it gets me. Well, just to see. And now it's just reloading. There's 2 things I could do here. Let's go left to the 1-2 line, or overmatch the 8-9 line.
2 line looks like it's really shitty right now.
It needs help, it really does. But putting me in a funnel like that isn't going to do anyone any good. I'll be overmatched by their heavies, and I'm just going to throw myself away, basically. Maybe kill one tank, and depending on the health situation, maybe two.
Batchat doesn't go face to face with Eve.
But you'd be throwing my tank away. And really didn't need that to happen, so. Anyway.
I see what you're saying about this.
This Tiger 2, who 4 minutes into the game is still in his base. It's just so stellar. Such play. I'm at 3 shells, which in retrospect I should have reloaded, but I think I kept them just in case I spotted the artillery.
And you could clip out the Tiger still with 3 shells, I mean.
Yeah. And I also thought the Tortoise was on the 1-2 line because he wasn't on the 8 line yet, like not spotted on the 8 line, so I figured if he's not committing and if he's not camping where that Tiger 2 is, then he's got to be a 1-2 line. You know, educated guess here.
Yeah,
now, I was lit, so this ISU was kind of ready for me, but juked.
Oh, wow. Right to the ground.
Yeah, he rushed his shot. He really didn't have to. Now I know he has a pretty long reload, so...
Crack shot.
Yeah, so this kind of leads to the awkward reload part that I was talking about. I'm reloading for a full clip and I'm behind 2 enemy tanks, and usually that's okay, but I didn't want them to push me, so I try to run away, and suddenly.
Oh my god, where the fuck? Did you really just defend it? Oh my god.
Yeah, and now I am
Wow.
reloading in the middle of 2 tanks, so this is fantastic.
How are you taking it up? There we go.
Yeah, that was pretty baller. I decided to take my odds and rush the guy who has a longer reload, except I took too long to make that decision because this.
Rush the guy that isn't the Tortoise. Best.
Yeah, but you know, sucks to be him. And about the whole not rushing the Tortoise part.
Oh, he's rushing you, I see. And now you're just gonna...
Yeah.
Now you're just gonna do this.
I can't count to 7 apparently, but
Oh man, that was...
someone's got to do it. Now he's got his side to both me and my teammates, so this is great. And
Just set him on fire. Really? What?
correction, apparently tracks will set you on fire.
What the fuck was that?
I have no clue, but it's pretty amusing from my end. It's pretty fantastical. So I kind of bailed this ISU because I thought that 1-2 was going to roll in, so I needed to help that. And I figured a 57 would just light the cap.
57's pretty low health, so I mean...
I thought he was, yeah, exactly. I thought he was just going to peek and light and whatnot. So I was going to get on this ridge here and snipe, because this is pretty good sniping. Got a bush and all that. Except the 57. The IS-4 got into that depression in the back of spawn. Here I'm trying to figure out where I can drop without dying. This is a treacherous drop. There are places, it's not that high, but you can lose so much health on this jump. It's ridiculous, so I'd be careful. So I figured since the IS-4 is going to pretty much stay in that depression, I need to work on this E3. And my rationale here was the moment that E3 fires again, I'm jumping him. Unfortunately, that just means that the IS-3 needs to die.
Yeah, and he's looking right at the IS-3, so you pretty much got free reign on his bomb. So.
Yeah.
If I just said bomb, I'm turning into David. ToFuSmurF.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm totally bumming.
Oh, 1 health, nice.
Yeah, that's stellar. So I'm on reload again. And now, you know, Centurion's probably gonna, yeah, it's probably gonna take it that ISU. It's me and 2 guys who I think are both one-shottable. Well, 57 for sure.
34. Maybe.
Yeah, they both are pretty one-shottable. I have the most health of the bunch.
Yeah, and you can clip out like either any of those tanks that are up right now.
So my goal here is that because the Centurion's committed down to 8 line, and the Tiger 2 being a bad player, I thought he was just going to be sitting there on J5.
Wouldn't be surprised looking at that.
So I pushed down the 2 line. My goal here is to scout the cap and anything below that ridge line at H3. and basically light for our 57 and our 34. So this is me doing a lot of driving, as you can see. If you're, I mean, short-term memory, right? I drove down the Abbey, I drove down the 8 line, back up the 8 line, you know, back to Cap, and now down the 1-2 line. And here I'm gonna go take the roundabout way to this side, because there's still already around, so still gotta be careful. Gonna reverse out, so less of my tank exposed. I genuinely thought he was gonna be right there.
I thought he did. Wow, I'm really surprised he wasn't.
So didn't spot the Tiger 2 or artillery, so now it's gonna go down, and then suddenly Cap. Yo. So
Batchat is needed.
I was gonna go light Cap for the 57 who's in the Abbey. He could shoot through those pillars at the E56 border. So I was gonna go light for him. Funny thing that I went on the high road on this one. I could have just kept going downhill, have more speed, and then come back up.
Yeah, right. Why did you go high road? I was watching.
It's really funny. Yeah, I don't know, but it works out. So.
Yes, yeah. Well, I mean, fuck. I guess either way, there's really no point going high road. Whatever.
Yeah, but it's amusing that I did though. So here,
3 damage.
yeah, or not.
4K, whatever.
So I full reload, even though I only fired once. I just want to, engage enemies with a full clip. I kind of wish I got that kill at the end of this. Our T-34 is still at their base, and awkward.
Whoa, okay, that's not...
So amusingly enough, this is why going low road would have been pretty funny.
Yeah, a little bit. Would have been pretty interesting, actually.
Yeah. So,
Nice. Wait for you.
another awkward reload. Apparently their team doesn't really care that I'm here. Kind of brain dead-ish.
Oh my god, did they really just... They did.
Oh, yep.
Trigger was fired, yeah.
Yep.
But you just sit there, you just take it.
I just take it like a trooper.
It's all for a good cause.
Now, if I bounced that, I would have laughed and died and been really mad.
Yep.
Anyway, 8.1k damage, and if I hadn't bounced that Centurion, we'd be sitting at 8.5k, and a Radley Walters, but fucking I don't deserve anything. So
5.6 kilometers traveled.
is that really what it says?
That's exactly what it says. Holy shit.
Yeah, I did a lot of driving and a lot of shooting. I only had 5 more shells left. If you guys recall, I had a YouTube video at the Batchat where I actually ran out of shells before they ran out of tanks, and was attempting to ram a tank for a Radley Walters, but didn't. So yeah, but I figured I'd end with this replay since it's really active, and a tortoise video on a T95 is so anti-active.
Fun to watch, you crawling along at 13 kmh.
Yeah, about 3 minutes of each video, just driving to nothing. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you guys post-patch, actually. So.
Yay.